Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the action potential and the generation of action potential. So, action potential is a rapid temporary change in the electrical membrane potential of a neuron or muscle cell, which is essential for transmitting signals along the length of neurons and enabling communication within the nervous system. So, the first step is called the stimulus. So the resting potential is typically around minus 70, meaning that sodium potassium pump, which actively pumps 3 sodium ions out of the cell and 2 potassium ions into the cell, creating a concentration gradient for sodium ions and potassium ions across the membrane. Here, we have the rule everything or nothing, because as you can see here, failed initiations. That means that if the stimulus is not enough, is not doesn't reach the threshold of minus 52, so the action potential won't be initiated. So it is really essential for the stimulus to be high enough to generate action potential. And once the stimulus has reached minus 55, meaning that it reached the threshold, the process called depolarization has occurred. When a neuron receives a stimulus, for example, from another neuron, it causes the membrane potential to become less negative, as you can see here. If this depolarization reaches a critical threshold, as I said before, minus 52, it triggers an action potential. Voltage-gated sodium channels open, allowing sodium ions to rush into the cell due to the concentration gradient and the attraction to the negative inside of the cell. As sodium plus ions flow in, the membrane potential rapidly becomes more positive, reaching up to plus 40. This phase is called depolarization. Okay, after the peak of depolarization, sodium channels close and potassium channels open. Potassium ions, which are more concentrated inside the cell, begin to flow out, following their concentration gradient. As potassium ions exit, the membrane potential begins to return to a more negative value, a process known as repolarization. In some cases, potassium channels remain open a bit too long, causing the membrane potential to become even more negative than the resting potential, as we can see right here, around minus 80 to minus 90. This is called hyperpolarization. The sodium-potassium pump and other mechanisms work to restore the membrane to its resting potential of minus 70. Refractory period. After an action potential, the neuron enters a refractory period during which it cannot generate another action potential, or can only do so with a stronger than usual stimulus. The absolute refractory period is when no new action potential can be generated, regardless of the stimulus strength. It occurs during depolarization and most of repolarization. The relative refractory period occurs when the neuron is hyperpolarized and a stronger than normal stimulus is required to initiate another action potential.